Everyone wants to know, what is the perfect portfolio? What am I buying right now? How do I manage to stay so incredibly good looking? A lot of you have noticed we have really shifted on this channel though over the last few months from small altcoin gems living on a prayer to more solid top projects. The reason for this is simple. They're going to get the quickest benefit when Bitcoin rips even higher highs. So today, I'm going to be revealing my portfolio to you so you can get some insight into what I'm thinking and where I'm putting my money right now. Let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you want more insight into the altcoin market, make sure to check out Token Metrics. It's where I do basically all of my coin research, and it's how I consistently pick winners. Get a 7-day trial for less than $5 by visiting tm.bitboy.live. Tell them BitBoy sent you. Just kidding, there's nobody to tell that to. In this video, I'm going to be revealing to you, though, my current portfolio. If you've watched this channel for a while, I have done many of these videos in the past. My portfolio can dramatically change between those videos, and this is no different. However, generally my strategy doesn't change. It's pick winners early and pick them often, and let them go when the jig is up. So recently, due to the declining price, I completely removed XRP from my portfolio. I'm never afraid to drop a coin when it's on a downswing. You gotta have ice in those veins to make it out chill. So here we go. Let's break down my portfolio. First, the biggest holding in my portfolio is Ethereum, coming at a huge chunk, 40%. I believe Ethereum is the future of this bull market. I've said that many times. I believe by the end of 2021, Ethereum will be a household name. As you saw in my institutional FOMO video about Ethereum, the possibilities of where ETH is going is insane and will be driven by a supply crisis in the market. I do expect some Ethereum competitors to chip away at its market share of the smart contract space, like Polkadot, but ultimately, that isn't going to affect the price during this bull run. Maybe the next one in 2024. I see Ethereum possibly becoming a store of value in the future as well based on institutional investing. I believe the upside is tremendous, and $50,000 per coin is not out of play for next year. Next up, I have Bitcoin clocking in at 10%. While I do have larger holdings of some other coins, I do believe that as a good general rule, about half of your portfolio should be in Bitcoin and ETH. And I'll be honest, I don't care how you do it, but as we saw with the recent XRP lawsuit by the US Securities and Exchange Commission, basically anything is possible with coins that have not been classified as a security or not a security. For this reason, the majority of your money should be in safe and steady assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum. I'm more bullish on Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin for this year. That's why I have Ethereum at the top with 40%. But you really can't go wrong any way you want to chop it with that 50%. And I mean, at this point, with the price action of 2020, do I really even need to go into why it's important to have Bitcoin in your portfolio? Nah, didn't think so. Next up, coming in at 15% of my portfolio, I have Chainlink. Now, this shouldn't really surprise anyone if you know me. In fact, in my top predictions video for 2021, I predicted that Chainlink will rise up to the number 3 overall cryptocurrency spot. Chainlink's Oracle technology separates it from other top coins, and with XRP taking a huge tumble, it makes sense we should see another top cryptocurrency rise to secure the seat behind Ethereum and Bitcoin. But I put my money where my mouth is, and I expect an epic rise from Chainlink and for the price to exceed $1,000 per coin in the most bullish scenarios. Right now, it's around $11. Coming in next at another 15% is Cardano. If you watch my 2-part interview with Charles Hoskinson from last week, then you understand why I'm bullish on Cardano. I was already bullish on it, but I'm even more so now. That's why I'm dedicating a huge chunk of my portfolio to it. While I also like Polkadot, I believe that Cardano is the biggest potential threat to Ethereum's dominance. But we likely won't see Cardano erode Ethereum's lead during this bull run. Doesn't change the fact that what Cardano is building is incredible. I'm really looking forward to seeing how 2021 shapes up in regards to decentralized finance for Cardano. We have already seen the Ethereum DeFi run, but could there possibly be a DeFi run for other blockchains in the space? ADA could be a huge beneficiary if they do. Next, at 5% of my portfolio, I have Vechain. The potential for VET is humongous. When we think about use cases for crypto, none are bigger than supply chain. Being able to track every ingredient or component of a product you buy is pretty crazy, but I think in the future, that'll be taken for granted. It'll be a given. Everything you own will be traceable back to the source. This helps with accountability and responsibility for corporations. If you're putting something in your body, don't you want to know where it's from? Supply chain helps with this. Unless the thing you're putting in your body is from Tinder, then you're out of luck. Now, as we look at upside, the potential growth of crypto projects, there is pretty much not a bigger area than supply chain tracking. Every brick and mortar and online retailer could benefit from supply chain technology. Vechain is the behemoth in this space. I only see the distance between it and its competitors growing wider over 2021. I also have 5% of my portfolio allocated to Synthetix. I believe you need to have one blue chip decentralized finance project in your portfolio. While Compound, Aave, Yearn Finance, Maker, Curve, and others have seen their days in the sun, I believe SNX has the most to offer in the way of DeFi. This project aims to make it safe and easy to trade any asset in the world from anywhere in the world safely. DeFi will only continue to grow, and I'm going with the underrated project out there of the blue chippers, and I'm hoping it pays off. If you haven't noticed, I like to base my portfolio on highest levels of potential. If you're gonna go big, don't you want to go as big as possible? Am I the only one? The last 10% of my portfolio contains a mixture of projects with smaller market caps. These include projects I'm an advisor for, such as Yfdai and Ferrum Network. It also contains IOST, which I run a node for, projects we've covered on the channel before, such as Hyper, Velis, Nimic, and a few others. I'm also a holder of DexKit, which I partnered with for the BitSwap exchange, found, of course, at bitswapdex.io. Then, of course, I've got small amounts in tons of different crypto. Some I can't even find anymore. But the point is, these are more speculative assets, and I treat them as such. One big mistake a lot of people make is they have their portfolio inverted. Instead of having the most secure projects as the bulk of their allocations, they have them the least amount invested. Because let's face it, a potential 1000xer is much sexier than Litecoin. It just is. But there's beauty in the boring sometimes. If one of these 1000xers comes through, then having a few percents of them in your portfolio allocated can still pay off. And while I have so many coins in that 10%, the speculative portion of my portfolio remains the smallest part collectively. You don't want to spread yourself too thin. Like, it wouldn't make sense to have 100 coins at 1% each of your portfolio. If one does get a big pump, you don't really have enough to really make it worth it, and you don't have the rest of your allocations in the right order. So I suggest having anywhere between 5 to 10 coins make up 90% of your portfolio. And remember, Bitcoin and Ethereum need to make up about 50% of that, at least 25%. This is why coin research is so important. Synthetix and Ferrum Network are both two coins that Tokenmetrics has rated as a 99.9% out of 100 as long-term investments. That's a big reason why they're in my portfolio. Making sure you have the best possible resources available to you while you're doing research is pivotal in choosing that 5 to 10 coins. You only get a few shots to pick the winners. And once again, if you want to check out Tokenmetrics, you can do so at tm.bitboy.live. Let me know what coins are in your portfolio right now by dropping a comment below. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.